I'm interested to see what Prime Creator says about finishing out our year of 2019, and if there are any updates for us, any, energy forecasts for December. Yeah, let's ask Prime Creator about what's going on. What's going to happen in September? Perhaps we can, December rather. Let's see if we can get some insight on that. Dear ones, there is a pattern that occurs at the end of each year. And this pattern is for those who are working with these energies to clear out what no longer serves, so that as the new year arrives, you are welcoming in the new energies. And this pattern indeed is in effect for your year of 2019. For as you move into December, you are opening up already to the year of 2020. And while there still may be some debris to clear away, so to speak, you are already beginning to feel the new energies of 2020. You are already beginning to experience, in some ways, the openness, the expansiveness that 2020 brings. This, of course, applies to those of you who are on your path and working with the energies of each moment. The more you are in tune to your path, to your soul, to the way that you serve the collective, the more these energies assist your personal journey. And so specifically for December, it will be important to stay steadfast in clearing out what no longer serves, while you allow in the new. You are now, dear ones, at the level of mastery where you can do both with greater ease. You can clear out the old and welcome in the new. And December will be a bit of a whirlwind in this way. There may be very fast clearings and very fast manifestations or creations coming into your physical realm. And so the overall message, dear ones, is to stay open to it all. And in this openness, to be the neutral observer as much as possible. And to say, what is it that I enjoy about what I want to experience, about what I desire? What is it that I appreciate and enjoy? And in this gratitude and appreciation, and in this attitude of stepping into what you enjoy, you will come into a more full alignment of your soul desires, your soul mission. And so I invite you, dear ones, to stay open and to allow a greater magnificence to come into your life than what you previously have imagined. And this applies to physical creations. This applies to your emotional well-being. This applies to your feelings of security and stability. This applies to your spiritual path, as there's great potential now for many of you to have even greater openings to spiritual realms with the intent to bring those realms to planet Earth. And I will further say that many of you have had many openings to spiritual realms, but you have not brought those energies into your body and into planet Earth. And this is now where we must now focus all of your connections to realms of higher frequency, to realms of knowledge that go beyond human capacity. All of these things must now be brought to planet Earth. And this is what 2020 will largely be about. Now, I know we were talking specifically about your month of December, but to also put forward the idea to you that your focus in 2020 can be to bring this higher frequency energy and information into your body and to planet Earth. Now, while this is not necessarily an easy task, there will be a greater flow, and in many cases, a greater ease for you to do this. For many of you have been working to heal the past trauma of other lifetimes when you have done this and been persecuted or even killed for it. Many of you have done massive cleanup work in your cellular matrix so that you no longer fear to bring in this information. And I thank you, dear ones, for this shadow work, as many of you call it, has been of great benefit to the ascension process and to planet Earth. And so I thank you, dear ones, for this work that you have done on yourselves. And so I invite you to allow these higher frequency energies now to be embodied and to be anchored into planet Earth. And this is the gift that you give to Earth. This is the gift that you give to this planet, to act as channels and anchoring points for these higher frequency energies. It is a very important role that you are playing. And I want to make sure that you are understanding how important this role is, for without you as humans being channels and anchoring points, planet Earth would be at a much very different place in her ascension journey. And this is why she so much wants to work with you and ascend with you, because it is a synergetic collaboration. There is much synergy, there is much collaboration that happens as you play this role to anchor and channel these higher frequency energies.
I've been hearing a lot about airplanes. Our space brothers and sisters, sometimes their ships appear to look like airplanes, especially during the day. So, it's funny, I'm outside a lot in the backyard, and I am on a flight path to the Philadelphia airport. So I see a lot of planes flying the same flight path, and they're usually gray. I very, very rarely see a white plane because I believe it's American Airlines. So I see them a lot. But occasionally, when I'm in the middle of the yard and I'm singing light language to my hawk friends, occasionally I look to the right. Usually the airplanes that are gray are on the left side, but occasionally on the right side, when I look up, it's a lot higher than the gray planes. I see these white planes, and they do look like planes, and but I don't hear them like I hear the other planes. So I was wondering if any one of those planes or anything that I have seen that I thought was planes were my space brothers.
Yes, dear one, most of what you have seen are truly airplanes. There have been a few instances where you have seen your star brothers and sisters, but for the most part, they are truly airplanes and nothing more. But do not despair, dear one, for you will begin to see many more objects in the sky, and you will feel that sensation at your head when they are your star brothers and sisters. This will be an indication for you of what you are seeing. You describe this as a butterfly flapping its wings, I believe. This is, you will feel this or something similar when you see a craft from your star brothers and sisters. Does this make sense, dear one?
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Yes, dear.
I have something similar here. On November the 11th, I walked back from my neighbor around 5:30 p.m. I saw two stars with the same brightness, a little bit north of northeast, where I saw that other star one time. The one was on top left of the other, maybe in an angle of 45 degrees. I looked for a while at the star, and the one on the left looked like it came down. So the line was pretty much horizontal or even lower than the other one. My neighbor was on the street there too. I talked maybe for a few seconds with him. When I looked back, I saw only one star. I checked on that computer program. There shouldn't be a satellite. It wasn't a space station. It's still possible that's a satellite, but maybe something else.
Yes, dear one, this was a spacecraft, and this is from a race this channel is not familiar with. She is having trouble discerning the name. It is fairly new to the experience of those who see these types of things. And I thank you for bringing this into the conversation, because this is also something that you will see happening more and more. You will begin to see more craft in your sky. For those of you who are paying attention and open to seeing such things. And many of these crafts are new to your experience. For some of you already see these things frequently, but you will begin to see new types of crafts from new beings that have not previously frequented planet Earth. And so this is very exciting for those of you who are interested in these sorts of experiences.
In regard to what you spoke about for December energies and anchoring those energies in, I frequently take walks around my neighborhood, and I always think to myself that I am anchoring the energies when I walk. So is it something like is it your thought process, like you could be in your house and think about the energies coming through your body and anchoring it to earth and also walking outside, or is it automatic?
Beautiful question, dear one. For many of you who elected to play this role at a soul level, it is largely automatic. And when you add your intention to what you are already doing, it does amplify and enhance the energy being anchored or channeled, depending on what your role is. So when you are bringing your intention to channel the energies or to anchor the energies or both, you are amplifying the ability of these energies to be channeled and anchored, and you are also providing thought forms for the collective to receive. When you have a thought, there is a sacred geometry that emanates from your brain. And this sacred geometry then becomes available to those in the collective. And this is the difference between doing something with intention and doing something without intention. When you do it with intention, you are providing templates, energetic signatures, these sacred geometries for others to receive and use as well. And so I would invite you to live with intention, because it does enhance the experience of not only yourself, but of the collective as well. So I thank you, dear one.
As you talked about December stuff, what do you see in the political scene in the States as they want to publish those FISA statements and some other papers? Is there something going on, or is that still getting delayed?
These energies are clearing, dear one, meaning that the ability to finally disclose is getting stronger and easier. The opposition to doing such things is losing traction, and so it is becoming easier for disclosure of all types to move forward. And you have even begun to see this in your mainstream media, where they are beginning to talk about things that they have never talked about before, things that many of you have known for many, many years, but are now being made available to the public. And you will begin to see more and more of this. So will these papers be disclosed in December? Not necessarily. However, the ability for things like this to occur is becoming easier, and you will see more and more disclosure in the months to come. And of course, this is very good news, because it means that the shadow and the crevices of the shadow are being illuminated, and all is being revealed. The truth is being revealed. Now, I will say that this is still a confusing time for many, because what they believe to be true will be shown otherwise. And this is very confusing for those who thought they had it figured out, for those who thought they knew. And it can be very stressful, very disrupting to the human system when belief systems are shattered, when ways of thinking and being no longer apply. This is the foundation for insanity, unless the being is willing to be flexible and open, unless the human is willing to change. And so unfortunately, with this type of disclosure and illumination, you will also see many people move into depression, psychoses, insanity, things like this. And on the other end of the spectrum, you will also see many more awaken, and awaken in a balanced way, not a way that takes them off center. It depends on how the human decides to respond to the changes that will be taking place. But overall, it is a very positive, forward moving direction that you are witnessing now. And the energies of moving forward are gaining momentum, they are gaining traction. You will see much more being disclosed in the coming months. With this disclosure, also, the ability of the light workers and those who are creating positive systems for the planet, your ability to move forward with your projects and your visionary missions will greatly increase. The resources will show up more easily. The support systems will come into place more easily. And of course, this is also very good news for those of you who are playing the role of restoring heaven on earth. The systems for putting together and constructing your visions will be able to be built with greater speed. For those of you who have been slogging through the mud, I will say, you will now gain some ground. You will now be able to move forward in much more tangible ways. You must also be willing to move out of visionary stage into execution stage, implementation stage. Some of you love to dream. Some of you love to envision, and there's nothing wrong with this, but if you are not willing to move forward and do some work to put your visions into action and into place, then you will remain in the visionary stage. And this is not helpful for anyone. And so I would ask of you, those who have been envisioning, those of you who have been dreaming, take some inspired actions now to implement what you have been visioning. And the support will rise up with you. In other words, you may not see the resources when you take the first step. You may not see or feel the support when you take the first step. But as you begin to take one step after another, the resources will arise with you. They will show up as you need them. And so, yes, it will take great trust and faith. But I am saying to you, the mechanisms, the matrix of light is now in place to give you the needed support. I will close out our time together by again expressing my appreciation for all of the inner and outer work you have done. And to again remind you that the inner work is just as important as the outer work. The outer work is just as important as the inner work. There must be a balance, dear ones. You cannot only do your shadow work, or you cannot only be an external action. There must be a balance of both in order for you to remain in integrity and to remain balanced as human beings. This is how your wiring and your structuring is set up. And so if you have been leaning too far in one direction or another, then it is important to self-reflect and evaluate what changes you need to make in order to achieve a greater balance. I will finally say, dear ones, to open your hearts to the new, to open your being, open your life force to unexpected and beautiful surprises. and to let the trauma be of the past, to let the cellular traumatic experiences, the past life trauma or the trauma of this life, to let it now be in your rear view mirror, and to give yourself permission to move forward, and to move forward quickly when required, and to move forward with grace, and to move forward in joy. You will find that 2020 will be a year of great polarity. And you can choose which side of the polarity you would like to be on. And we will talk more about 2020 in a future conversation, but I just wanted to plant some seeds for now. I thank you, dear ones. Cool. How fun. Thank you, Prime Creator, as always, for bringing us the information about what's going to be happening and the energies that we want to be attuned to. I would also personally invite you, if you're not on my email newsletter list, to make sure that you join my newsletter community, either at susiebeiler.com or creationtemple.com. I will be offering some new things in the coming year, and you'll want to stay tuned to know about what those are. So definitely get on my newsletter list and join us so that you know what's going on in my world and in the Creation Temple. Thanks so much for joining me in this video, and I will see you in the next one. Much love.